Hi guys, after completing Kappa just earlier this week, I was doing some of the random quests which I still got around, and while doing skiers, no swiping, I found this surprisingly solid loot run and I thought I just had to share it. As most of you know by now, with the .14 patch to Escape from Tarkov, Shoreline was not only changed, but it was actually expanded upon. And one of these expanded areas is actually where this loot run is going to be focusing on. Just northwest of the Road to Customs extract, in between the new car extract, is where you're gonna find the new scav compounds. And this is what this video is all about. This area is absolutely packed full of technical loot and industrial loot, so majority of your money is going to be consisting of Tetrises, electric motors, lamps, you name it. And two of the things that I personally really enjoy about this strat is how it's quick. It's about 10 to 15 minute runs depending on how far you've spawned from it, and also the fact that it is basically zero requirements. The only thing you really need for this strat is at least a Beta 2 or a Trizip backpack. Ideally though, you're gonna go with an Attack 2 or bigger, and you then want to take 2 rigs to stack loot. The ideal rigs would likely be the LBT or the MPPV. Now, one tip that I can strongly recommend you following is pre-medding one SJ6 and either a Vaseline or a Golden Star at the start of your raids, because while this is a very chill loot run, and out of about 10 runs I only saw about 3 people at the compound, your biggest danger realistically is actually getting to the compound. And not only that, but if we start to go into profit per hour, and if you intend to do this strategy for quite a few runs, using an SJ6 is going to be cutting about 1 to a minute and a half out of your runs, so in the grand scheme of things, that is going to be a couple of extra runs that you will be doing. But let's talk about results and what you can expect. On screen right now you can see the loot from 5 runs which I tracked. This came up to about 5.5 million rubles, which divided by run, it's about a million rubles profit, and divided by the hour and a half it took, including loading times, it's about 3.5 million rubles per hour, which, considering that there's zero requirements for this strat other than the backpack and rigs and having flea market, it's honestly quite impressive. In any case, that's enough talking for now, let's get right into the loot run. Alright, so now that we're getting here to the compounds, this area is essentially divided in 3 locations: the lower warehouse, the upper warehouse, and then the ruins up to the side. I'm gonna be starting here with the lower warehouse. Over here on this table you can have Tetrises and tech spawns, food spawns over by the pallets. The lower warehouse, all of these tables around here can spawn streamer items, they can spawn PGWs, rat wrenches. One thing to watch out for is they can be inside the blueprints, so sometimes it is quite hard to find them. Med supply crates, these can have your LEDXs, your ophthalmoscopes, definitely good. All of these tables have tech spawns. This is a stationary supply crate, which is really nice for your sugar, for your chocolates, as those will only keep going up in price as we go later into white. Here you have a dynamic jacket, more industrial spawns, as you see streamer items. Along these boxes you have ammunition and attachment spawns. And now we're gonna be moving over here to the ruins area, in which you have a lot of ammo and attachment spawns over on these chairs. Inside the tent, more attachments. You have here a dynamic loot crate, a weapon crate, and you have an attachment spawn behind it, so if the weapon crate is there you won't be able to see it. Here you have food spawns. You can have some of the spawns invisible by being inside of the beer bottles, so make sure to hover your mouse on it. Attachments, ammo spawns, as you see, pretty good scope. Over here on these concrete slabs you have a lot of industrial items to spawn, I've gotten quite a lot of electric motors, which right now are going for 100k. Here you have a dynamic toolbox that spawns over. Going over here to the right, you have fuel spawns over by these metal coils. Technical spawns below this metal stuff. Industrial on the pallet. Moving over here to this stable, you have more food, tech and ammunition spawns over here. More ammo and attachment spawns down here. This is another dynamic toolbox with industrial loot spawning next to it. This is the stationary med crate. Over here on this little hut, it's always good to check the mattress, as you can have items that spawn in there and you won't really be able to see them. 1G phone is not the best example. For example, corrugated O's. As you can see, they can go below it, so it's always worth the check. Also along the bed frame, you can have stuff spawning. Now moving over here to the area of the upper warehouse, you have ammunition spawns all over the table and the floor. More ammunition spawns over here on the floor, over here on this table, on the eater, and below the table you can have moonshine spawns. In here, dynamic jacket spawns. Let's head over to the tarp. So this is probably my favorite area over here on the strat. In the back and below, also on the side of the van, you have industrial loot. And then all over the floor below this tarp, you're gonna have all kinds of industrial loot spawning over. Gunpowders, motors, corrugated hoses, you name it. So you'll just find a good amount of money laying over here on the floor. On the other side of this van, there's also a dynamic plastic suitcase. Plastic suitcases are pretty nice to spawn. They can have just a little bit of everything, from valuables to all your food items to your attack items, so they're quite good to look into. Sledgehammers as well, on it of itself, that's 100k right there. Moving over to the upper warehouse, which is essentially the last place we have to loot. This warehouse here, as you see, that table has more streamer items, and going into this little cubby, this area I've gotten quite a lot of electric motors from, sledgehammers as well. Check along the pallet, check on top of the barrel, the box, and over here on the corner. This little container here is also particularly good. These shelves will have PGWs, rat wrenches frequently, so there will be a good part of the money you'll make out of this loot run. Up on the blue container you have more attachment spawns, although generally I don't really feel a need to go for weapon attachment spawns, as you get your inventory full out of just industrial loot. Over by these coat hangers you can have 3 dynamic jackets spawn over. In one of the test runs I even got a sandwich tape key, so at the time that was still about 500k, which was pretty nice. Over here on the right side, these tables, they can spawn a lot of industrial loot, although what you do need to keep an eye out for, sometimes you'll have the loot spawn, for example, below the wood planks, so you won't see it, but it'll show up like you see the dot to pick it up there. For these tables, more of the same, attachments, industrial, tech, that's the name of the game in this area. Nothing really spawned here. Back of this trailer you have more attachment spawns. Over on this top, more attachment spawns. Toolbox over here, I believe that this one is the stationary one, although I'm not 100% sure now. And lastly, we have over here by this pallet as well 3 other spawns for tech loot. And the beauty of this map really is now that you're done looting, you've spent 10 to 12 minutes looting this place, and you're the first person in the lobby that actually is good enough to extract. So you can just sprint over to pick your extract, and by this time you'll basically never meet someone you're the first guy extracting the lobby with about 1 million loots worth, so you're pimp chillin'. In any case, that's it for today's video. If you guys have watched it to this point, thank you very much, you're absolutely amazing. I hope that you guys are able to see the same success that I was able to see, and shortly after this video is uploaded, I'll be live on Twitch, so if you guys want to pop up, say hi, that would be absolutely incredible. Have a good one, peace.